Ladies and gentlemen, here it is.
Cha-Cha Music Review Podcast.
Cha-Cha Music Review Podcast.
Cha-Cha Music Review Podcast.
Gotta get it.
This is not Cha Music Review Podcast.
Cha-Cha Music Review Podcast.
Cha-Cha Music Review Podcast.
Cha-Cha Music Review Podcast.
Baby, let's go.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and my amazing members of the Cha-Cha Nation, welcome to another episode of the Cha-Cha Spotlight series on the Cha-Cha Music Review Podcast. My name is Afis Tonova, aka your musical plug, creator of the Energy Force. You know, I get to do it here now. I get to bring fast rising artists and we talk about their musical journey and everything in between. And without wasting much of your time, let me allow my artist for today to introduce himself.
Yo, what's up? I go by the name Valdozzy. I'm a Nigerian artist. Happy to be here.
Yeah, thank you for being on the podcast today. So, let's get down into it. Tell us, what is your real name and how did you come about the stage name Valdozzy?
Okay, the simple story. Okay, my real name is Valentine, Ukwu Valentine Nnadozie. So, the story of how the name Valdozzy came about from the song by Rick Ross. Remember the song, it normally says John Doe. So, me and my friends were like, I needed a nickname, and then we were like, okay, my nickname would be Valdo instead of John Doe. Let me answer Valdo because my name is Valentine. Then along the line, the Weezy and all those Z names they were all trending then. And I was like, okay, let's turn it to Valdozzy instead of Valdo. That was just how it came about, and it was Valdozzy. And then they just merged my two names, Val and Dozier, came to Valdozzy. So,
all right, so take us through your musical journey. Tell us the first time you fell in love with music, and then at what point did you decide to say, okay, you know what, this music thing is what I want to do professionally?
Okay, if I say the first time I fell in love with music, I would say I was a kid then. Okay, let me just tell the story. I was in the nursery school, and I'm a Catholic. So I always go to church with my mom and the choir. There's always no one playing the drums. Then I started going to the drums to play, and it was funny then. I was always playing trash. It was a secondary school, a female secondary school, and my mom was teaching it. So it was all girls, and I was the one always playing drums. So I liked how the girls were all like, they liked the sound and everything. So they were coming close and shit. So along the line, I entered the seminary and the music team followed me through. In the seminary, I was a choir master for so many years. So I kept falling for music. I was writing music for church choirs. I taught so many church choirs after my junior seminary school. Then I went to the university. When I went to the university, I met the school life, the music life there, and I fell in love with what I was seeing. I was seeing some school celebrities, and I felt like, oh wow, I want to do this music thing. Then I found out that teaching choirs were not giving me enough satisfaction as I wanted from music. So I started writing songs. I started writing my own song. I wrote my first song in 2013. Yeah, I wrote it 2013. Then I recorded my first song 2014. But the time I fell so much in love with music, this is a true life story, was the first time I listened to Burna Boy, Like to Party. I went to the studio and recorded a song, and that was the first song I released. That was just the first song I released. Damn. If you listen to the song, it just sounds like to Party, that's the truth.
Okay, so you said you started writing in 2013, but you recorded your first song in 2014. So in 2013, when you were writing, what kind of songs were you writing? I mean, considering the fact that, like you said, you technically kind of started out from the choir. So was it like a praise and worship song, or it was what kind of songs were you writing then before Burna Boy now made you to write other songs?
There was this battle inside. So I was writing inspirational songs. There was this song I wrote called Stepping Up. And see now we're stepping up. So I was writing all these inspirational songs stuff. And then I actually went to the studio to record it, but I didn't succeed. It didn't come out well, so I don't normally say it's the first song I recorded. I always say it's the one after I listened to Burna Boy, because that was the first song I'm like, okay, I've recorded. So this kind of songs I was writing were like inspirational songs. And then sometimes, they're a little bit tilted to the church side. So those were the kind of songs. But Burna Boy happened.
All right. So, would you say? Okay, let me ask you this. Now, you had Burna Boy's song and you were inspired to go to the studio to go and record. But would you say it was at that point that you decided to say, okay, music is what I'm going to do my life, or music is going to be part of my hustle? Or at that point it was just, oh, I had Burna Boy's song, I like the way he recorded, I can also do something like that, let me just go and do it?
No, I always tell people that when I listened to Burna Boy the first time, that time he wasn't that popular. He wasn't well known. He was still neglected as an artist then. He was like still on the ground, kind of. But I listened to him and I kept telling everybody, Burna Boy is the biggest artist I've ever heard from. And then people didn't understand it then, but I thank God that I can hear it now. But when I listened to him, I saw a picture of myself. That's just it. I saw a picture of myself in the future. I was like, wow, crazy. This is what I want to be. Why I always give Burna Boy the credit for being an inspiration to me sticking with music and being like, okay, I want to go hard on this, is because there's always this person in anything you want to do, no matter how much you want to believe that it's just from our own will. There's always this person that whenever you look at that person, you're like, shit, I want to be like this. So Burna Boy was that. Immediately I saw him, I was like, wow, I want to be a music star. I want to do music for the rest of my life. So I just saw a picture of myself in someone else, something like that. Not that I want to be Burna Boy. But
you wanted to be a musician, just like Burna Boy. So it's safe to say that it was 2014 that you made that decision of, okay, you know what, music is what I want to do.
Yeah, it was that.
Okay, so let's talk about the recording experience. I mean, tell us your experience the first time you actually went to a studio to record a song. I know you said the first song that you recorded did not come out well, right? And it was the one you recorded after listening to Burna Boy. That's the one you can, regard as your first song. But you know what? Yeah. Tell us about the two experiences and the differences and the lessons you learned from, the one that did not come out well and the one that Burna Boy now inspired.
Okay. The song the first song I recorded is called Stepping Up. So I in the choir I was always the seminary is a boys' school entirely. So there is always the need for people to sing soprano. Yes. Okay. Right? So I've been singing soprano from when I was in JS1 till my SS3. So imagine how tiny my voice was. So I went into the studio and I had this falsetto voice. So immediately they gave me the mic to sing my song. I was singing with falsetto. I was singing with falsetto, and the guy that recorded me laughed at me. His name is Spin 5 actually. Spin 5 is the first person that recorded me. He recorded that song. He likes the song, funny enough. That is the thing. But I hated the song because I was sounding so, is it to call it girly or what? Even these days, I still kind of sound a little bit tiny in the voice, but it was so, I don't know, I just didn't like the song that much. It was so touchy, so I don't know how to explain it. So emotional, all this, so innocent. That is the word. The song you were not for me hard guy like Burna Boy. Yeah, the song was so innocent. I was there singing that. See now we stepping up, step up right now. I say those kind of things. So I was like, wow, after everything. So and then that same period, I recorded a song and I rapped in the song. So when I rap, if I listened to the rap and he told me, Papa, nigga, just stick to singing.
Rapping was not meant for you.
It wasn't meant for me at all. Let me just stick to singing. And then I remember there was this other guy, he's 6 feet, that's his name. He was a producer. He was called to the studio to listen to what I rapped, and he was like, no, man, don't rap. Stick with singing. Even another rapper then that was in school, Testament, listening to it, I was like, nah, my man, stick to singing. And I was like, ooh, yes, he was in that Stepping Up. I rapped, yeah. It was the Stepping Up song that I rapped in one verse. Yeah, I rapped in second verse. And then they threw all kind of shades at me, like, nigga, stop rapping and just stick to singing. So that was the experience. And because of all the whole experience, I went back, I was like, no, I didn't record well. I didn't enjoy the recording. The experience was like, you're horrible. This kind of falsetto thing you did in choir. So I tried to start losing those kind of falsettos in my voice and try to allow my voice come out the best way it could. It took me a while because it was hard. Something you've been doing all your life. So imagine just coming to a particular period of your life and you want to let go of it. I still have the falsetto thing in my voice up to now, but it's better now.
Now, the experience in the second one.
Okay, imagine I just finished listening to Burna Boy and I loved his song, and I wrote, after listening to Like to Party, I wrote On. So the person that produced was 6 feet. So he made the beat, and what I wrote was sounding exactly like a little bit like to Party. You get? So when I went to the studio to record, somebody that hated his first experience of listening to himself sound so falsetto, I tried so hard to have a bass voice. So the song came out nice, but I was forming a bass voice, a bass voice all through the song. So you get it? So instead of sounding all my natural voice, I was still sounding normal, but my bass, I was trying to get down to my bass more than just being on my normal, because I have a high voice. So I was trying to be on my bass instead of my high. And then it came out nice. I liked the song. Even most people liked the song. It was what ushered me into school, entertainment scene. People started knowing me, Valdozzy. So yeah, it came out nice. It was a good experience.
All right. So will you say in the two experiences, which one were you more, there are some people that will tell you, the first time they went into the studio, they were nervous, their hands were sweating, even in the AC, their eyes were sweating. They went to urinate 10 times, What was it like for you? Were you cool, calm and collected, or you were just, all over the place, or you were just hyper?
How can I be cool, calm and collected? I wasn't. I wasn't. I was tensed up. I remember Spin 5 recording me more than almost 10 times for one thing. He kept complaining about this, I didn't know how to sing, so it just fits into what is needed. But it was actually a teaching experience. I learned from it.
All right, so while you were talking about, recording the song and, you made mention of school. So let me just ask, are you currently a student, or ASU is doing you ASU way, or you're done with school totally?
And I'm done with school. I entered school 2013.
Okay.
That's a crazy thing, but most people still think I'm in school. But I'm done with school, but I have not served. That's the word. Done with school, but I have not served. That is just the best explanation.
Okay. All right, let's talk about school. How was it for you being in school and handling music at the same time? What was the struggle like?
Okay, there was this thing my friend called it. Is it a identity restructuring or something like that? I was going through a lot of identity struggles. Like, I was a church boy. Like, I used to play for cathedrals. I used to teach different choirs all over my community, all over the town. So I was known as this choir master. So me now being a musician and a secular musician was very controversial to every other thing around me. So it was a struggle having to deal with all that in school, seeing the way people begin to see you different. And then the truth was that I always knew within me I was not that church boy. I always had extra inside me that I wanted to explore. But the music aspect of church gave me a little bit of freedom to express myself, but it wasn't enough. I needed more freedom to express myself. So breaking out into that freedom when I was in school was hard. Having to deal with all the backlashes from family and everything. Because there was a time I even carried dreads. I had dreads in school, and my family, they were going all crazy about it. But the coolest thing about it is that my mom and dad were very okay with that. And they just helped me through the phase, and that was all. One of the biggest struggle was having to be in the music scene. I was always the guy that was, he was that good. Everybody knew he was that good, but he was not a trending guy in school. I was always the upcoming artist in school. So, and I hated that. But I feel like it's one thing that helped me actually grow my craft this well, because wanting to be better every time, it's a good thing. It's a good thing. So, yeah.
All right, wanting to be better, it's a good thing. And talking about always being the upcoming artist in school, I know that's going to be like a bit of a struggle, especially, when it comes to shows. So let's talk about shows.
Yeah.
What was your experience like the first time you performed on stage?
Okay, crazily enough, it was amazing. My first time on stage, I murdered it. I don't know how I did it, but I killed it. And while going to perform, I dressed like an artist. In fact, I was trying too hard to look like an artist that I was looking so rough. So when they gave me the microphone to perform, I sang my song so well. I even brought out a girl, danced with a girl, and people shouted and all those things. I knelt down in front of the girl. Okay, that was horrible. I knelt down in front of the girl and all those things. So yeah, it was a good experience. My first experience was a good experience. I also remember the competition I went for then was a good experience-ish till I lost. And I hated the experience. So yeah, my first performance was good. It was a bonfire night, I remember.
Okay.
Sorry, I wanted to give credit to the first person that gave me a show. It was MC Dave. Yeah. That was his name.
Okay. Big shout out to MC Dave for giving you, that stage to be able to climb on and to be able to do your stuff. All right, before we go, before I dive into your music itself, now, I think the question I want to ask you now is going to be, what would you say has been your biggest challenge ever since you started music up until now? What would you say has been your biggest challenge or your biggest struggle so far?
Money. That's just
it. Finances.
Finances is crazy. I know I have the music. I know I have what it takes to jump into the big scene, the big leagues with anybody, be in the spotlight, be in the mainstream. But money. Everything in this industry is all about money. And as much as I hate the fact that everything has to be about money, in fact, for luck to happen, it's 2% out of 100. So it's money, and I don't have all the money in the world to do that. I have the much money I have is to push to the level I am right now. And then with the help I get from my label. So money has always been the problem. But Thank God, I got a sponsor, so it's getting better.
Okay, now let's talk about the music, because I remember, how I came across your music. It was on the street of Twitter. I think you actually even tweeted your music at me, and I'm like, okay, for this guy to send me the link, or for this guy to tell me to listen to his song, this guy must be pretty confident of what he has done. And it took me some couple of days, maybe about 2 or 3 days after that, I went to listen to the music. And I'm not going to lie to you, the first track I had of that EP, the EP is titled Magic, and that first track that I had titled Black Sheep, I'm like, hell no, who the hell is this guy? Like, I'm not going to see. Like, that song was just, it was something else. So before we even talk about that EP itself, and the whole song on the EP, which is naturally dope, let's talk about your recording process. How do you record? How do you write a song before you hear the beat, or you hear the beat, or you hear the beat then you write the song? And also, what inspires you, to write a song in general?
Daily struggle is what inspires most of my songs. My daily struggle, my life, my aspirations, my passion, my sexual passion, my sexual self, everything about me is what I put into music. I always tell people that if you want to know me, if you want to understand me, and if you want to have a piece of me, listen to my music, because I put everything inside. I don't care. Anything I said on Black Sheep is real to me. Like, when I write some of my songs, they're always too emotional to me, because whenever I listen to those songs, I see the struggle I was at that point when I was writing the song. So sometimes I write my songs in the midst of one of my maybe worst stories, painful periods, joyful periods, hopeful periods, any period of my life that something happens and I get a zing, like, okay, I start singing. It majorly just happens, like, I feel somehow and I start singing. When I start singing, something always comes out, and when that thing comes out, it becomes the song. Sometimes I might just sing the hook that feels so emotional to me that one time, I leave it. I'll keep doing what I'm doing, and probably when I'm washing my clothes or all those things, I keep singing the song and I start writing another line. So I hardly ever pick my book to write songs. I normally just keep singing them and keep writing more lines. Then that's how majorly I write most of my songs. Then on the other hand, I also freestyle. I do freestyles a lot too. I listen to beats on YouTube, I write on them, and they also come out very nice. And when you listen to songs I wrote on the beats, they sound different. There's this other aspect of me it brings out. The ones I write without beats, it brings out another aspect. Then, but the other way I actually record music is sometimes my producer Nami, he produces, like, all my songs you've listened to is produced by Nami. He's a dope ass producer. He mixes, he produces, he records and does everything for me. That guy is dope. So most times I'll be in the studio with him. He will play a chord, and I'll be like, I like that chord. I'm making a beat with it. He will start making the beat, and I'll be writing as it. Once he's done with the beat, I'll record immediately, and that's it. There are some songs we make like that. Once he just starts making a beat, I'll start writing while he's making the beat. Then once he's done with the beat, I'll record immediately, and we are done with that. Actually, recording is not a hard thing for me. And writing songs is one other thing that is not so hard. It's once I catch a vibe, I have a vibe, and I just keep going. That's just it.
Okay, once you have a vibe and you catch the vibe and you just keep going. So let's talk about the EP Magic. Now, tell us what was the concept behind the EP, and what song would you say was the first song you recorded and the last song you recorded on the EP?
Okay, the EP was EP, I was trying to tell a story. I was trying to tell a story of my depression. I always tell a story about myself. EPs. I like dropping projects. I also dropped another EP now entitled Wild Dreams. Maybe you should check it out, but let's talk about this one. The EP was me talking about a very painful moment in my life. That was when I nearly quit music. These were like periods I felt so down that music felt so painful for me to write and everything, because I saw myself not being able to do this because of all the barriers I had, all the blockades. I couldn't go further because I didn't have the income, I didn't have the right connections. And then it was so painful to me, and people around me didn't help much at some point. So I put all that into the music, and that was how Magic came about. Magic, the title, was what I needed. So I was like, magic, I need magic. So, and that was what I tried to make. Try to put magic into sounds so that, something to just lift me out from this place and place me somewhere better. That is just the whole concept around it. Like, I can't remember exactly the first and the last ones I recorded, but I could remember the story behind everyone. So the day I wrote Black Sheep, I was in the music studio recording with Kemena, a friend of mine that is also a very dope musician and a producer too. So I was recording with him, and then I was going out to buy stuff, to buy food, and while I was walking down, I started writing Black Sheep. So before the night, I had this very crazy agreement with my girlfriend, and there were some things said in the night. There were some things said, and they were painful. So when I was now walking down, everything started playing in my head. I was like, the whole struggle, the identity crisis, having to deal with family, extended family, everybody's saying this one and that one about me. People looking at me as if I was going crazy, I was becoming useless, I was following the wrong path because I was doing music. So I was like, damn, fuck, I can't do this anymore. And then if you listen to the words in that, and I was like, I'm a lot of bullshit to deal with. Like, I just try to be like, okay, let me accept who I am. Yes, I am a lot, because I know that it's not easy to be with me, those kind of things. And because I'm chasing my dreams, everybody is like, you are hurting the family, the image of the family, the extended family, and all those kind of things. Then, but the crazy twist is that one of the major drives I have for doing my music and pursuing my career is that I'm doing it for my family. I'm doing it for my lineage. I'm doing it for my family. There is something I want to create. I want to create a legacy that won't die. So in that song, I was like, everything I'm doing is for you guys, but you can't see it now, but you will see. If you remember, I kept saying you will see.
Mm-hmm.
You will see. Maybe when I've got it, you will see. So, and I knew within me that if I stopped doing music, I was going to be miserable, because thinking about putting music already made me miserable. So if I stopped doing it, best believe I'm going to be the worst human being you know. So that was why I kept saying I will hate everybody and I will load everybody. And that was the truth. The only thing that really, really gives me that amount of joy and fulfillment and happiness is music. So take that away and you have an angry person that would hate and load everybody. So that was the message in that song. Allow me to do what I'm doing. It is for you, but you can't see it now, but maybe when I have it, you will see.
Okay, I mean, I'm not going to lie. When I listen to that song, I'm like, wow, this is deep. I've listened to a lot of fast rising artists, and most times, most of their songs are always, commercial. It has a lot of commercial appeal. In as much as Magic had, that one song that was still commercially, appeal and commercially successful. But majority of the songs there were something deep and there was something more personal. There were songs that you listen to and be like, this is deep. This is deep. Yeah, I'm not even going to lie to you, because the thing is, if I listen to your song and your song is not good enough, I'm not even going to have you on the podcast in the first place. So the fact that I could listen to your song and I could connect with the song and okay, this song is good, this is an artist, I don't need to keep you to myself. I need to introduce you to the whole world, because this is what this series is about. It's about introducing fast rising artists to the world and introducing the world to the fast rising artists. Now we've talked about your musical journey and all of that. Let us chill a little bit. Let's just move away from the music a little bit and let us get to know Valentine a little bit. Like you said, your name is Valentine, right?
Yeah, it's Valentine.
Okay, so does that mean that you were born February 14?
No, I was born on February 12th. I was born on February 12th. But my dad said I'm an early Valentine, so he named me Valentine.
Oh, okay. Okay. So tell us this. What would you say, aside music, what would you have say you will have seen yourself doing? Let's assume music was not the thing that you were doing. What would you have said? Okay, you this is what I would have been doing if I was not doing music.
Jeez. I just found out I've never thought of this. It's hard to think about now that you talk about it. Okay, I do something by the side. I'm a portrait artist. I make portraits.
Okay.
It's somewhere I make money from outside music. But I don't want to do that for life. Hell no. Like, I want to express via art. Probably if I didn't do music, I would be an expressive artist, because what I don't like much about portraiture is that it's too rigid. It's too picture, just paint a picture. It's just too straightforward. Do this. And then I like expressing myself a lot. I don't like having rules. I don't like having rules surrounding what I'm doing. So that is why I feel I would have become an artist, a conceptual artist. I would have just been making art and telling stories with art. That is what I would have done. It's still what I'm doing, but I'm doing that with music. Telling stories with music. I'm still telling stories with art too. Yeah.
Oh, okay, so that's nice. All right. The second question I'm going to be asking you is, what would you say your favorite food is?
Okay. I don't know if you've ever heard of oha soup.
Now that's a soup.
Oha soup. Swallow. I'm done.
What kind of swallow? Is it any swallow or there's a specific swallow?
I don't mind. Okay, let's say fufu.
Fufu or akpu?
Akpu. You see oha soup with akpu or olubu soup with akpu. Those two, you have me. In fact, it's a secret to my heart, actually. Okay.
I wanted to say, ladies, if you are listening to this, you know how to get it. But then again, I said, let me ask first. Are you single, searching, relationship, situationship, or God when? Or you're even an entanglement? Which one are you?
This one are private business. People will treat their eyes. I am anyone you want me to be.
Okay, he said he is anyone he wants him to be. Let's talk about sport. Are you a sport person? If you are a sport person, what sports do you do, or what sport do you play, or what sport do you follow?
I used to play basketball. I stopped, and I hate the fact that I stopped. I think I want to start it.
That's nice. All right, let's circle back into the music and let's try to round this up. So without a doubt, we already know that Burna Boy is your biggest inspiration. If not for Burna Boy, you might not be here. So shout out to Burna Boy. We have someone that you actually, influence. So without any doubts, Burna Boy is one of those artists that I know that you definitely want to work with in the future.
Sorry, I have to cut you short. There's something I keep saying. I keep saying this, and I've said this thing to my friends, my manager, and everybody. I'm like, the day I see Burna Boy, I don't care how big of a star I am, I might go crazy. I might really be a big star then, so you get and everything. But that experience of seeing him won't be because of I'm not going to start feeling so big. I am big, Burna Boy. I am going to fucking express myself and be like, I love your music. Simple. I don't like the whole industry thing about forming. I don't think I'm going to be able to do that with Burna Boy. Let me just be real. When I see him, I'm going to actually lose it.
Okay. All right. So aside from Burna Boy, just mention 2 other Nigerian artists that you will say that you are looking forward to working with in the future.
Okay, AG Baby, Wizkid.
Okay, AG Baby and Wizkid. All right, now, obviously, right, we're talking about, music and all of that. You rightly mentioned that you freestyle, and that is one of the way, you write your music. So it is time for me to allow you to do freestyle for the audience. Let the Cha-Cha gang and the Cha-Cha nation that are listening to me right about now, let them feel what you can do. So the floor is yours. You are going to freestyle for us.
I got one. Then I come try taste my energy. I light up like a dark emoji. Pull up on you like a young Timothy. What bad see we get enemies? You come to my presence and bend on the knee. It's loyal people today like to they please. To get my glory, man, I had to they please. So no try stop me, I know fit to lead. Man, I just come them, I want me to leave. So I tear gun like I got off a leash. I'm a lion, so I like to defeat. So make you not try to taking back 1 second. I know you thought you had me. Take you back 1 second. I know you thought you had me. I was down, try to stop 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 me. But bad man never ever down. Nah, bad man never ever give up. Bad man never ever down. Nah, bad man never ever give up. Bad man never ever down. Bad man never ever give up. Bad man never ever down. Yeah, bad man never ever give up.
Yeah, and if we allow you, Badman will just continue singing and we won't leave here today. All right, so before you go, right, is there any new stuff that you are working on? Do you have a new project out, or should we be expecting something new from you? Let us hear.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen of the world, everybody listening, Wild Dreams is a project I just dropped. I don't want to make mouth shut, but yeah, you should just kind of listen, please.
If they listen to Wild Dreams, and whether they like it or they don't like it, or they want to say 1 or 2 things about it, how can they connect with you? Your social media handles.
Okay, you can connect with me on Instagram at Meet Valdozzy. You can connect with me on Facebook. Just search for Valdozzy. You'll see me there. You can connect with me on Twitter at Valdozzy. On TikTok at Valdozzy.
And the song Wild Dreams can be streamed on all major streaming platforms, right?
On all platforms, everywhere you want it, it's there. TikTok, Instagram, everywhere.
Okay, you guys should go and check that out and let me know what you feel. And also, don't forget to check out the EP titled Magic. Trust me, you are going to enjoy the EP. Valdozzy, thank you very much for being on the podcast today. I really, really do appreciate.
Okay, my pleasure. Enjoyed being here with you too.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and members of the Cha-Cha Nation, that is going to be the end of today's episode of the Cha-Cha Spotlight series on the Cha-Cha Music Review Podcast. Till I come away with another episode, my name will always remain Afeez Tenova, aka your musical plug, creator of the Energy Force. Peace out.